Good evening. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend, their Sunday. I'm enjoying mine again. Just sitting back, relaxing, watching football. Give me a second so I can fix the view because I really don't know what I'm doing that much, but we'll get to that here in a second. Today's episode is entitled Zemi, the Arawak Taino Spirituality. It is a show I've actually done before, but I realized that when I was doing this show last time, that I actually couldn't be seen, right? So, excuse me, I couldn't be heard. So I decided to redo the episode. Now I'm having visual technical difficulties. Thank everybody for stopping by. Give me one moment when I figure out this font. Okay, I can see myself again. Let's see if I can make it smaller. Give me a moment. I'll figure it out here. All right, there we go. That's not too bad. So, again, this is an episode that I did a few weeks ago, and I decided to look at my library, and I realized that there was absolutely no sound. So I said, all right, well, I'm gonna do it all over again. But again, Zemi is a form of Arawak spirituality, and it's something that I feel is interesting. So let me a little bit on it. I'm going to one of my favorite sources, which is ChatGPT, and let's see what it has to say. Thank you all y'all for stopping by. I can see some people coming by. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, now according to ChatGPT, Zemi, also spelled Cemi instead of Zemi, is not a single god, but a spiritual concept in the religion of the Arawak Taino peoples of the Caribbean. What is Zemi? A Zemi is a spirit deity or ancestral being with supernatural power. It can be connected to natural forces, rain, wind, fertility, natural places, mountains, caves, rivers, ancestors, or clan protectors. In physical form, Zemi were often represented as physical objects or idols, carved from stone, wood, bone, or shell, shaped like humans, animals, or hybrids. People believe these objects contain the spirit's power. The role in Taino society, chiefs or caciques and shamans, bohiques, use Zemi in rituals and ceremonies, healing practices, seeking guidance or protection. Zemi were believed to bring rain and good harvests, prevent illness, offer wisdom or success. Examples of important Zemi, Yukahu, Zemi of cassava, main food crop and fertility. Arabe, mother goddess associated with water, fertility, and birth. Um, so that's basically what ChatGPT is saying. I could, elaborate more. It's asking me if that's what I want to do, but I think I'll just play a video. I'll let somebody who actually is from the region, that is from the Caribbean, that grew up and knows a little bit better than I do in this situation. So give me one moment. I'll play a little short video here. This topic is not going to. Well, I'm not going to be here long. I remember from the last time I recorded this, the videos are going to be short, and it's not a whole lot of information that I can obtain from this. Honestly, a lot of that is due to what we call whitewashing when the Spanish came and other people that invaded these countries, they kind of whitewashed it with Christianity. So uh, I say a lot of it has been lost. So a lot of these videos are short. Give me one moment so I can gather that.
Arawak religion. Have you ever wondered how the Arawak people connected with the world around them? The religion evolved around a higher ancestral spirits and gods. These spiritual beings influenced various aspects of life and the natural world, reflecting the Arawak's close relationship with their environment. The Arawak people believed in many gods, often referred to as Zemis. These spiritual beings controlled forces like wind, and hurricanes. Most important were you, the god Atara, the earth goddess, focused their worship on nature spirits and ancestors. These intermediaries were believed to have a more direct impact on everyday life. Each Zemi statue animals or humans or just some. The arawaks, the they wore amulet. These gatherings were a way to express gratitude and seek blessings. Some ceremonies involved the use of tobacco, body paint, and others, along with purification practices like induced vomiting. Healing ritual of Arawak religion. Shamans conducted these rites sacred located at the village boundaries. They believed that the spiritual world played an active role in their well-being, influencing cultural life and expression. This belief system formed a vital part of their identity within the broader context of Latin American indigenous cultures. The Arawak people's rich spiritual life continues to be a significant aspect of their heritage today.
Okay. I like the way she laid that out. One thing that I definitely was paying attention to and that gained my respect is that, the balance, the male and female. You know what I mean? I like that because it's more conducive to life. I spoke on this in the last episode, even though no one could hear me. One thing I tend to realize whenever I study different religions and go to different areas, right? It's their gods. Well, I'm not talking about Abrahamic religions. I'm talking about ancestral gods. Their spiritualities that are natural to the region, right? Prior to colonization, is what I'm saying. I tend to realize that a lot of their gods are based on things that are in that region. For example, we're talking about people that are from the Caribbean islands, right? One thing that the Caribbean islands are notorious for is hurricanes. Every year there's a hurricane in the Caribbean. That's why I hate when people are like, oh, that's God punishing people. Oh, so he must have been punishing people since the beginning of time, right? Because there's hurricanes. It's the way that nature set up. It's just going to happen, right? But my point is this: that's what they look at as one of their gods or one of their supreme beings because it's natural to the area, right? And no matter where you look, when you look at traditional spiritualities, African traditional spiritualities, South American spiritualities, North American, um, the Aborigines, I'm telling you, every time it's something to do with something that has to do with that region, right? It's only about that region, right? And that's very interesting to me. Um, Another thing that I was paying attention to when I was listening, I could see something with Christianity, right? Oh, so they were saying that a lot of their gods were statues that were cut out and made from whatever materials they could come up with. Um, that's right up Christianity's alley, right? Because they can easily just try to dismiss that, coming like, "Oh, you guys are idol worshippers. If it wasn't for us, you guys would be worshiping idols. Blah blah blah. So I can just imagine in my mind. Uh, that's probably some of the things that they seen when they first invaded. Um, they probably got rid of that first day, or tried their hardest to get rid of that the first day. That was just my thoughts and my overall opinion of that video that we just watched. And I do apologize to the people because it was skipping somewhat. It was short. I kind of like these ones because they are shorter, so that way it's not too much you're gonna miss one way or the fucking other. You know what I mean? Um, let me read a bit from Wikipedia. Give me 1 second. Okay. So the theology, Taino religion, as recorded in by late 15th and 16th century Spaniards, center on a supreme creator god and a fertility goddess. The creator god is called Yakaku Morokari, and he governs the growth of the staple food and the cassava, the goddess of Bira, who governs water, rivers, and seas. Lesser deities govern natural forces, and also Zemi's Bunyayo, and I know I'm butchering these names, I do apologize. The rain giver is one such Zemi whose magical tears become rainfall. Spirits of ancestors, also Zemis, were highly honored, particularly those of the Kachukes or chiefs. Bones or skulls might be incorporated into spiritual Zemis or reliquary urns. Ancestral remains would be housed in shrines and given offerings such as food. Zemis could be consulted by medicine people for advice and healing. During these consultation ceremonies, images of the Zemis could be painted or tattooed on the body of a priest who was known as Bahudi or Bahaku. The reliquary Zemis would help their own descendants, in particular, the religious art. Sculptural zemis or amulectic zemis take many forms, but the most characteristically taino art form is the 3-point stone zemi. One side of the stone might have a human or animal head, with the opposite side having hunched legs. These are also known as frog legs due to their positioning. The fierce face of the creator god is often portrayed. Very small ceramic 3-point zemis have been uncovered by archaeologists in the lesser Antilles, as well as Colombia and Venezuela, dating back to 200 BCE. Small amuletic zemis worn what would be worn on warriors' foreheads for protection in battle. Zemis are sculptured from a wide variety of materials, including bone, clay, wood, shell, sandstone, and stone. They are found in Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and other Caribbean islands. Such are quite large, up to 10 centimeters tall. Some are effigies of birds, snakes, alligators, and other animals, but most are human effigies. Even twin human figures are portrayed. Wooden zemis were preserved in relatively dry caves. It is believed that Taino people hid their ceremonial objects in caves away from the Spanish, or destroyed them to avoid them having them fall into Spaniards' hands. Beaded zemis. Two of the most elaborate surviving zemis are housed in European museums. One is a belt with a zemi from the Greater Antilles. The belt dates back to circa 1530 and is made of cotton, white and red snail shells, black seeds, pearls, glass, and obsidian. It is housed in the Museum for Volker Kud in Vienna. The second is housed in the Pigerini National Museum of Prehistory and Ethnography in Rome. Until 1952, it was wrongly labeled as an African fetish, but scholars have confirmed that it is Taino from the early 16th century and exhibits elements of Caribbean, European, and African artistic influences. Okay, very good. I like that. Um, so it kind of touches on a lot of things that I said previously. I don't know if some of what I said is because I kind of did this before. I don't really remember reading that exact part. hit home in a way, but not exactly. So that may have been the reason why I was saying what I was saying earlier, or what I felt about them just things like, because again, I have reached before, but it wasn't recorded properly, so I had to do it again. But it just validates the whitewashing situation. So I think we all are aware of that. I know, in fact, it's been happening since the beginning of time. It's happened to all of us, right? So moving along, I'm going to play another video here, and I'm going to read a little bit more. And this is going to be a short episode like the original one. And we're here. Give me one moment so I can prepare that. Hopefully this one doesn't skip.
Most fascinating myths from the Caribbean is the mythology surrounding the Zemi god. Of the taino, the Bahamas, Cuba, Hispaniola, present-day Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico and the surrounding smaller islands before European colonization. They are considered the first inhabitants of the Caribbean way of life, rituals and religion of the Taino population. The Tainos had a rich mythology full of gods and legends, of which the Zemi-gods played an important role. For some Zemis were responsible for nature, such as the god of rain or the god of the sun. Cookie, the god of the night. Atabi, the goddess of the mother and nature. Yokahu, the spirituality. Or sun. These myths and legends are an important part of Taino culture and rich and complex religious beliefs of this tribe. Operated into the past and are still an important part of the region's contemporary culture and history.
Okay. So I do apologize for the skipping in that video. but because I know it definitely was because it was skipping on my part too. I'm gonna read the last little bit of this stuff about the Zemi God, and we're gonna get out of here. And this is from Google, by the way. Okay. Let's see if there's something in here that I didn't read. Okay. Okay, so most of this I already read, but I'll just reread it. A Zemi or a Semi in Taino culture refers to both a deity, ancestral spirit, and the spiritual object carved from wood, stone, bone that houses or represents that spirit, serving as a powerful link to the spiritual world for healing, protection, and communication with gods like fertility goddess Adabi and her sons Chahu, centered to Taino life and rituals. What Zemis represent spiritual force, a vital force connecting the physical and spiritual realms, embodying deities, ancestors, or natural forces. Physical objects, sculptures, often with human or animal features found across the Caribbean, acting as vessels in these spirits connecting to nature. They related to natural elements like water, atabi, or the growth of crops. Yeah, Yuchaku, key Taino deities or Zemis, Atabi, as I already explained, the supreme mother goddess of fertility, water, and tides, often depicted with a frog-like form. Yukachu, Atabi's son, the masculine spirit of fertility, ruler of cassava, which is growth. Uh, Wapin Sex, I mean Kex, however you pronounce it, the volatile goddess of storms and hurricanes associated with natural disaster. Atiba, Kahaba, Kahubaba, the Great Bleeding Mother, our primary ancestor who birthed humanity, often depicted with distinctive eyes and a headdress. Use in rituals, Kohaba snuff, Zemis especially, those with bowls on their heads, held hallucinogenic, Kohoba powder used in rituals for spiritual communication, ancestral connection. They house the spirits of revered ancestors, connecting the living with the dead. Materials and form carved from wood, stone, bone, shell, or ceramic, often featuring intricate designs with inlaid shell or gold. Could be small handheld features or larger significant idols. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. So again, this is just a redo of an episode that I previously did. Um, when I found out again that there was, I'm like, okay, well, let me definitely get back to this one again. I want to thank everybody who stopped by, everybody who watches later. I'll definitely be back next Sunday with Faith, Lies, and Confusion. I don't know what the religion or the topic is going to be about. Again, get somebody to interview with me. That's starting to be my new favorite thing. Um, Maybe during the week I can do this any day. So I want to thank all y'all again for stopping by and good night.